Hey, busy business people. I am here today with another entrepreneur taking action, Atiba de Souza. Atiba helps expert entrepreneurs become thought leaders by making video marketing easy, fast, and fun. And I'm getting the scoop today on how he does it.
Hey,
Okay.
Christina. How are
Hey.
you?
Oh, I'm doing absolutely fantastic, especially when I get to be in a room with you again. Like, come on, that's awesome.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, she says that, but the truth of the matter is, y'all have all listened to her, so she's pretty darn special herself. And we're lucky to be in the
Aw.
room with her. I won't embarrass her today with what we usually do when we're physically in the room with her, but yeah, find some of my social media and just look for the blue here. You'll see what I'm talking
Yeah, I think that kind of got all over the place after Austin. So there's a good reason to go visit Atiba Social and check out lots of cool stuff that he's got going on over there. Okay. So diving into actual things about you instead of me, what are like some of the biggest challenges and blockers when it comes to like experts trying to do more with video?
Well, we start with the one that people are going to say the most. I don't know what to talk about. That's usually the first excuse that you're probably thinking in your head when you think of video. I don't know what to talk about. Now, that's typically what you say because you're actually covering up the other excuse, which is either I don't like how I sound or I don't want to look at myself on video. Okay? Those are usually the big three. Every now and again, someone will come up with this one, which sneaks in if they say, "Well, I know what to talk about, but I don't know the technology needed. I don't cameras and lighting and sound and all this other stuff. I don't know that stuff." But even if that's the one you're thinking of, you probably don't like the way you look or sound on video. I know. Christina and I just were having this conversation. I feel like I look real yellow today. Yeah. Just always feel like there's something wrong with the way you look or sound. I get it.
Yeah, I'm always overthinking that. Like always, always. I feel like we've put more thought into what's behind us since COVID started than probably any other time in our lives because we're on camera a
Mm-hmm.
lot more. We're on camera for every meeting. And
Mm-hmm.
we've put more effort into what our backgrounds look like. Like I've moved my desk around probably 6, 7 times in the last year, looking at like different background walls. And then it's like, do I want the window behind me or do I want to be able to look out the window? Do I want,
Right.
to be able to put a green screen up behind me? Or like I even had, if I was turned the other way, I had this curtain thing over here that I could pull that like I've got a curtain rod in my ceiling across like halfway across my room so that I could pull a curtain over behind me and control my background a lot more. Like we overthink this like way too much.
Yeah, we do. We do. And we all do. Right. But here's the reality. Your audience doesn't actually care because they get it. Their background's a mess too. And I'm not saying to be janky. Don't get me wrong. Right. Like, don't go shooting video in the bathroom while you're using it. Like don't
There's
do
way too
that.
much of that happens.
There is, and it needs to stop. But the reality though is your audience wants to connect with you. And that's the thing that we really try to help people understand is you're an expert in your field. And you're an expert in your field because you've become really good at delivering whatever it is that you deliver because there's something that you figured out that you can do that helps your customer be happier with what you do than anybody else in the world. That's what makes you an expert, right? So you have that expertise and people want to hear about it and they want to hear from you about it, genuinely from you, how you really feel, who you really are. Because they want to know that you care about them, not just their wallet.
Yep. Now, what are some tips that you have for overcoming some of those things? Because I mean, we talked about what technology was one of them. So, like, what's a tip for
Yeah.
overcoming the technology hurdle?
Very simple. You have it in your pocket or your purse. Okay?
Yeah.
You have it in your pocket or your purse. These things have amazing cameras on them. Absolutely, absolutely amazing cameras. Okay, so you can use these things to create great video. Oh, but what about the sound? They also have really good microphones. You know, there was a time when we used to put them to our ear and talk on them, so that and people on the other end could hear us. Yeah, so they've got really great microphones on them as well. Okay, actually, let me see if I have it around here. Hold on. The next thing that you will need, and I don't have it around here, unfortunately, is you can hold your phone or get a little phone holder. I can't believe it. I just came back from a trip, y'all. Yep, Christina's got one.
Yeah, I
just
got a
came out, and she
tripod,
got
and I just got one that's like adjustable to different heights. And so when I'm just kind of sitting at my desk and doing it, I'll just leave it short and just pop it out and set it on my desk right here and just kind of film. Then I'm in my same kind of background and things like that. Thought about getting one of those, like when you're walking around and having like the kind of swivel thing so it doesn't bounce too bad. But honestly, and I mean, like I've talked to a bunch of people, like people that run video ads and things like that, and they said those ones where you're just like walking and you're outside and the phone's being all bouncy and whatever, they're so authentic that like they perform better for video ads. And it's like, if it works better for video ads, it probably works better for organic as well. So
absolutely. And the thing about it is you don't need all the fancy stuff. Okay, you don't. And I know it feels like you do because sure, we've all seen camera sets. Heck, I was on one yesterday up in Ohio, and I'm looking around, and there was a trailer, and I'm thinking, they've got like $400,000 worth of equipment in here. And we think, oh my gosh, no, you really don't. Okay. A little tripod like Christina's or mine, if I can find it, is like $20. $20. You don't need to spend a lot of money. Okay. If you decide to get super, super fancy with your phone because maybe you've got some background noise and stuff, guess what? Audio Technica makes a great little lapel mic that clips into or hooks into your phone for $20 on Amazon as well. $40. Yeah. That's all you need. And if you don't have $40, guess what? Hold the darn phone and just talk to it. It's okay. Okay, so if technology is your thing, don't even worry about technology in terms of the video or the audio. And then you say, oh my gosh, but what about lighting? They say lighting is so important. It is. And I am sitting here with lights on, so I don't want to be a hypocrite and tell you that lighting, you don't have to worry about your lighting. But guess what? When I started, I went outside. I use that thing called SUN, the good old sun. Sure, I couldn't record video at midnight. Okay, I had to give up something.
I did like a little ring light thing that is, it was just a little clamp on my desk, and it's got like white light, yellow light, a mix of the two. We'll see, that's full yellow, white blend. And then it's just got like some basic dimmer settings so that I can look, completely transparent, a little bit like Casper, or I can look a little bit more normal. And I mean, like, this is how much light, this is like a tiny little ring light. Yeah. And like, look at how much of a difference this little thing is making. Just, it doesn't take much. Like, I was the same way. Like, I really was afraid of the technology piece. And like not having the best background, not having the right lighting, so it's like, I mean, $20 little ring light. I've got like a basic Logitech webcam that flipping everybody has nowadays. And then I don't even have like the fanciest of microphones. This is like Mayono or some brand nobody's ever heard of that's mounted on a little thing. But I was like, it worked. I just couldn't bring myself to get the big expensive one. Like, my audio is fine. I got the little thingy arm thing. The whole thing was like $30.
Yeah.
And it's like fancy looking little microphone with the little thingy thing so that I can get it out of my way when I don't want it. I mean, I haven't gotten fancier than that yet. And then my tripod and my phone. So some social media platforms like the portrait angle better, or I'm just talking, so my phone is fine.
Yes.
I fall into like more casual versus up here. So and that's advanced. I didn't start with any of that.
Yeah, and that's the key. That's advanced, folks.
Mm-hmm.
You got it already. Just turn that sucker on. So technology is your issue. We just took care of the technology issue. Okay? You don't know what to talk about. People would love to say this one as well. I don't know what to talk about. Let me just help you with this. You've been in business and you're an expert. That means that at some point, people have asked you questions. I guarantee it. It's impossible that you've not been asked questions. Just sit around. Take 15 minutes. Get a piece of paper or a Remarkable 2 if you're Christina. And just jot down questions that people have asked you over time. Just write them down. Any random order. Just, I had this customer, they asked this question. Great, write it down. Then get the camera and turn it on. Turn it on. Turn it on. Okay? Now, in this moment, after you get over this and before you get into the, well, what am I going to look like and sound like? Some people have a little fear that pops up. And that one is always a really, really fun one to deal with. No sarcasm there either. And that is, I've never talked into a camera before. And you get this nervousness about, I'm looking at a red dot and talking to a red dot. Okay, yeah, I get that. So here's how you overcome this one. You already come close. I'll tell you how you overcome this one. Get your spouse, get a friend, or get a coworker to sit on the other side of your phone and ask you the question. And then just answer it. Look at them and just answer it. And so then it becomes a conversation. We just happen to have a phone between us that's recording it, but it's just a conversation between two friends. Okay? I recorded my first videos in 2007. 2007. And to this day, when I get on camera, if I'm not with someone like Christina right now, if I'm just recording video, I still talk to someone. They're fictitious, but I still imagine there's someone behind the camera asking me a question to this day.
I've been testing something after you told me that to see how well it works.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of sort of working so far. I recorded myself asking myself questions.
There you go.
Playing the question and then I'm answering it back and then I'm playing and then I'm answering. I'm still kind of like, this is ridiculous, but I'm testing it out. And so far it's keeping me laughing while I'm doing it too, which is good.
And see, and that's also super important because the thing that does for you there is it keeps you authentic, right? When you're saying it's keeping me laughing, because that's who you are. Everybody who knows, because you're going to be laughing and having a good time. And if you're not, then we're going to wonder what's wrong with Blue. What's going on?
That's what happens when you build your business up as an expert and a thought leader, though. You get to choose who you hang out with all day long. Mm-hmm. So I'm happy and laughing because I'm having fun hanging out with people that I want to spend time with all day long. That includes like clients, that includes who I network with, that includes, my employees, my staff. Like there's not usually anybody in my day that I'm not having fun with.
Yeah. And, and that, guys, is one of the side benefits that people miss to creating video. It is a huge side benefit that people miss because your potential clients and get this, your potential employees consume your content. And before they ever meet you, they know who you are. And they know that they want to be around you. They know that you're the type of person that they want to be associated with and that they're going to feel comfortable with. I can tell you, I interview people all the time and they'll say, oh, yes, I watched this video And man, you made such a great point here, or you made me laugh with this point. I'm just thinking, oh, and like I hear this all the time. I really want to work with you because I really feel connected to you because of your videos. It's a huge side benefit of creating videos. Right?
Yeah,
Be
clients
yourself.
and employees, like they love seeing that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Be yourself. Have your blue hair. Wear your Superman hats. Be yourself. Be real. And so that gets to the back end of where people get really frustrated, or frustrated is the wrong word. Scared is a better word with video. I don't like how I sound, and I don't like how I look. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's
And
deal
it's a
with that.
comparison thing too, right? I mean,
It
it's
is.
like you're looking at all these other people that have like the crazy mood lighting and the, like they've managed to get them light. The background is like dark and blurry, and then they have like the RGB or whatever color light things going around all
Mhm,
over the place. And it's
mhm.
like, dude, and it's like,
And therefore your
mine
production
doesn't
is
look like
great.
that, so I can't
Ex-
do that. And like, you
Exactly.
work up to that. I mean, me and you both have our like personal branding and strategic component things now. And we both speak on how important it is to be authentic, to be yourself, to be fun, to be weird. I'm doing it more from like a written word perspective, like how
Right.
can we write better blogs and websites and things like that. And you're doing it more from the video perspective. But
Yep.
that just goes to show that you really have to be holistically, you know, you're authentic. Like I get told at least a couple times a week that like, oh, I've thought about dyeing my hair for years, but I was concerned I wouldn't be taken professionally, or
Yep.
yeah, I get taken more professionally because they remember me when I walk in a room. I think if
Yes.
I lost my blue hair, nobody like I could just show up, like change my name and like hide the blue hair, nobody would know who I was.
Well, and that's the beauty of being yourself, right? Is they get used to you and who you really are, okay, and what you really bring and what your quirks are. People know me because of the Superman hats, right? Whether it's this one, or I'm gonna make y'all laugh now, or I bust out this, right? But when you see a Superman hat, it's me,
Yep.
right? But it also gives you permission. You have the permission to be you, and that's the key. You have the permission to be you. But in those early days, I get it. You may not even know what that means, because it took me a long time to even realize this was part of the me that I needed to put out on camera, right? Was, oh no, I got to take the hat off and I got to look professional. I got to wear a button down. I am wearing a button down today, coincidentally, but had those thoughts. And let me tell you how you get over yourself early. Y'all ready for this? Here's how you get over yourself early. Get your question that you're going to answer, put the phone up, hit record. Hi, blah, 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 whatever it is you have to say. Do your call to action at the end. And if you want to reach me on blah, 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 blah. Great. Boom. There's a video. Hit stop. The moment you hit stop, go to your apps and open the YouTube app. Actually, I think it's a YouTube Studio app. No, either way. Press a little button, the plus sign button, and upload the video right away. That's what I had to do. To this day, I don't rewatch my videos. I don't re-listen to any of my videos to this day.
Same.
Okay. Now I know the points that I'm making. And so like I had a situation today where I was forced to re-watch a video because somebody took one of my videos, somebody on my staff, and they wrote a social post, and I read the post and I'm like, my honest question to them was, where'd you get this material? And they said, from the video. I'm like, I can't believe I said that. And I had to go rewatch the video and realize I didn't say that, which is a whole nother issue. It's a whole nother issue, right? But my point is, I even to this day, I don't rewatch watch my own videos or listen to them, because I know if I do, I'm going to second guess them. And I'm going to say, yeah, no, that wasn't good. Let's redo that and hit delete. And then I'll redo it and hit delete. Don't do it. Just upload it. Trust me.
I started doing that after you told me that, and it makes it a lot easier. It's like every little bit that I've learned to do from video guys has been from Atiba. Like if you see me out doing videos, because he's encouraging me to go do more with video, and I'm like, okay. He's like checking in with me, making sure I'm doing it and mentoring me on it. So it's everything I'm talking about came from him originally. It's like I do put a little bit of effort into what I'm going to say, though. I'm like, okay, this is what I want to talk about. These are the key points that I want to hit. But mostly because, like, that's a pet peeve for me. I hate watching videos where somebody just proselytizes for, like, ever. I like it to be short, sweet, condensed, and then tell me what the action is. So me personally, I do kind of have a gist, like not a script per se.
Yep.
But I'll have like a bullet point, some key points, and like you might see me look away and then look back. Like I'm not too concerned about looking at the camera the entire flipping time because nobody stares at the camera religiously. If you're in a conversation with me, I am not making eye contact with you the entire flipping time. I will look away. I will touch things, you know? Right. So it's like, I don't worry about that. So I'll have my notes kind of off to the side. And then I'll, same thing over here. I've got him over here right now just because while I know Atiba really well and I know what he's amazing at, I want to make sure that, like, I don't have a blonde moment and just be, what was I trying to say? And we just go way off in left field. So,
by the way, I don't think you can have blonde moments. You may have a blue moment, but you definitely won't have a blonde moment.
That would be like the perfect kind of quirky. No, I was actually blonde as a child. It's brown now, but as a child, I had like white blonde hair.
Really? Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I'd like to see some of those pictures, but we could talk about that offline.
Those are like way back in the day pictures with like the little dresses from 40 years ago that I like to put people in.
Yeah.
Those things were fun.
The other thing that I'll say to everyone, if I could here, is start. Yeah. Start. Okay. It's a little bit scary, and I heard this a lot of years ago, and I've tested it and seen it. It takes about 40 videos before you actually find your voice. So even with what Christina said just now, you have an idea of the type of video you like. Maybe you are the one who likes to get on and just want to ramble, and that's who you are. There are people who want to listen to you, and that's okay. Mm-hmm. Maybe you want to be more structured, even more structured than Christina said. That's okay too, because there are people who want to listen to you, right? No way is right or wrong, and you can't really compare yourself. But even within understanding that, hey, I might want to be more structured, it still takes time for you to actually develop your voice. Okay. Yeah. And that's something that you have to also give yourself leeway with, and it's okay to change. I'm thousands of videos in across multiple different channels, and I still change. Because you've realized, I could be a little bit more me if I do it this way.
I mean, we grow and we evolve as people. Yes. I mean, even I had the opportunity, I'm a StoryBrand certified guide and Business Made Simple certified coach. So I've had the opportunity to talk to Donald Miller for a few things, and I got picked for one of his like speed coaching sessions. Mm-hmm. And I could have like one question and he would coach me on it. So I ended up asking, like, how do you find your voice? How do you find your personality? I was talking about written content, not video, but I think it's applicable still. Absolutely. And he said what he ended up doing was there was this book that he liked to read that he really loved how that author sounded. He liked how it was written. And so when he was writing his books, which are very well known, have sold millions of copies at this point, he would go and read a couple chapters from that and then work on writing his. So every time he sat down to write, he was reading a couple chapters. He was emulating that other voice until he got comfortable enough with the process that like his newest one, Hero on a Mission, is mostly his voice. He didn't use that tactic for that one, but he was using it before that. So I was like, wow, ooh, who can I go use? Who can I emulate? And it's like a lot of the people that you see are so high energy. And I know that was one thing I've heard, and you've probably heard this a lot too. I know that it's like, I am not a high energy, bubbly, like woo woo kind of person. Like I'm not going to come dancing out on the stage with like fanfare and Like I just interviewed a guy for my podcast a couple days ago, and he literally had confetti gun, like virtual confetti gun, and played music on cue and stuff. He's coming out onto the stage for the podcast, and it was like, dude, I mean, it was cool. I laughed. It was fantastic, but like, that's not me.
Right.
I can't do that. So it's like imposter syndrome if if you're not that kind of energy. So I found people that I liked that had energy and they were a little quirky, a little weird, but not like way out in left field weird. Like Molly Mahoney's one that I love how she presents. She's authentic, she's human, she's quirky, she's weird, and I love it. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
So it's like she's my muse at the moment while I'm making video.
And that's a great point, though, and I'm glad that Donald Miller said that he did that with written stuff, because I've always found that it was harder to do with written than in video. But you have so many examples. So let me give you a real life story of what's going on really, really right now. Okay. I've not been on TikTok. Christina. So Christina gives me credit and says, oh, he helps me so much with video. We help each other with a lot of stuff. Okay. We push each other, and it's good to have those types of people in your life. So let's just take that pause and aside for a moment. If you're in business and you don't have those types of people in your life who are pushing you to get better, then that's something that you need to fix too. That was the PSA. Yeah. Let's go back to the regularly scheduled program now, right? We'd be going back like when we were watching PBS when we were kids, okay? But anyway, so TikTok is not a platform that I've used. And Christina's been, man, you got to get on TikTok. You got to do this. And she sends me stuff. And she's like, all you got to do is create this little video. And I'm just like, yeah, don't really want to. No, don't like that. But I understand the point that she's making, and that, yeah, I've got to get on TikTok, and I've got to find, where I fit, if you will. And so we've done this exercise within our company. I've got one of my social media managers, and I said to her, okay, let's look at TikTok and let's consider what the content is we're going to put on TikTok. Let's find some hashtags. Okay, and we defined, we did some research and came up with about 30 hashtags, and we narrowed it down to 5. And I said, hey, we're going to take these 5 hashtags, and I want you to go find me 5 different and popular content creators in each one of these 5 hashtags. So now I've got 25 different content creators who are creating content around hashtags that I also would create content around, all video content, right? And we're going to go watch them. And we're going to watch them for inspiration as I try to figure out how I can be my authentic self on TikTok, because I have a perception of what's needed on TikTok. And I'm not going to shake my butt and dance and wiggle and jiggle. It's not what I'm just not going to do it.
I haven't done any of that either. Like, I'm the same way. I can't. I mean, maybe one of these days I'll get a little bit relaxed enough on video to be able to pull it off. But yeah, TikTok's definitely, Tony Robbins is on there now.
Yeah. And so it's about,
I've had my own little hashtag that I'm using on stuff now. And I mean, it's gotten, it was a lot of just views on my little tiny hashtag already.
So it's a great point. Find your muse in that platform. And understand that we're not saying to copy anyone else. This is not about copying. This is not about plagiarism, if we want to take it into true written terminology. But this is about finding someone who you like, and then taking the essence of what they do and translating it, crosswalking it into how you can present it. Right? Not producing their content or reproducing their content, but finding your own voice within that space.
Yeah, I mean, my own little hashtag that I created, Superpowers into Sales, 6,883 views.
Cool.
And I mean, I don't have like a big channel yet or anything. I've just been goofing off. I've been posting, like, I've tried some podcast snippets, like, hey, repurpose content. I know you help people do a lot of repurposing with their content. I've tried some little snippets of that have worked really well. I'm trying a TikTok ad for the first time ever, and it's already gotten over 1,000 views. So
nice.
Figure out what's going on with that. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, like, I've only got 414 followers, and I've only been goofing
Oh,
off with
Christina.
this platform for when did I do this first video?
So there's one that I forgot to mention earlier. And this usually happens after you publish your video. This is usually what stops people from the consistency that it takes to continue publishing the video. Because you published your first video on a day where your mama wasn't available and you forgot to text her the link, so she didn't watch it. And nobody else watched it. But then one view came in, but you don't know who it was. And you're thinking, oh my gosh, one view. But you persevere through and maybe you publish a little bit more. And we get to this place where we start to measure the size of our audience. We start to measure the views, the likes, the comments. No, I'll take comments off, but definitely the views and the likes. Okay. And we start to say, I'm not getting any ROI. I'm not getting the bang for the buck. Who's going to watch these videos that I am producing? And that's one of the biggest killers to why people stop. And so, friends, let me submit this to you if I could. Okay. Here's reality. If you publish a video tomorrow and we get you 1 million views on that video, it's the greatest video. It goes viral. You get 1 million views. And then over the next 12 months, those 1 million views turn into absolutely nothing in your bank account. Versus you publish videos and you're going to publish over time. Maybe it takes you 6 months of publishing videos. And maybe you have very small audience, fine. But one of those people that you're talking to authentically, that you're answering questions, because these are questions that people are really asking. Okay? So now we get into a little bit of strategy here. You're answering these questions and people are finding value, even if it's just a few people, in the answers that you're giving. And one of those people decides to pick up the phone and call you, or submit a form on your website, or if you're in Christina's world, complete your quiz funnel. Right? Reach out to you on LinkedIn. And that turns into a sale. Tell me, what's worth more?
Yeah.
What's worth more?
Well, I mean, we're talking about thought leadership with expert entrepreneurs too. You're not trying to sell $27 trinkets. You're trying to sell, $5,000 to $15,000 VIP days. You're trying to sell, a 5 to 10K a month program. You're trying to sell a 20K a year mastermind. Like, you're not selling trinkets. You're selling your time, which is expensive and limited. You're selling your team's resources that's built on your expertise and things that you've learned and honed over years. Like, you're not selling cheap things. People may hang out in your space for years trying to be a better customer for you. Like, I've had people that were literally in my space for like 2 years because they got my pricing and they're like, goals.
Right.
They want to hit that point where they can, because they know it's worth it. And they're not going to ask me to come down and be cheaper because they know this is reasonable. This makes sense. And they work on it. So, I mean, and I know we have a friend that's been doing video and it took him 4 years before he really kind of dominated it and got it nailed down, which I know sounds scary and intimidating, but I mean, you're putting content out that's used in a bunch of different ways. Like I said, I know we've talked on repurposing and you actually help people repurpose, but strategically, where you're filming longer videos and chopping it up versus the type of repurposing I'm not a real big fan of, where people are just like, let's go find 1 minute snippets out of the video. And it's like they end when the thought doesn't make sense. And it's just to get that 1 minute snippet out. It's like, you do it the right way, which is really cool.
Oh, thank you.
So, you see that a lot. That irritates me so bad when it's like I'm watching a video and I'm like, this is good. It's like, but where's the rest of it?
So, and that's one of the most interesting things that happens, unfortunately. And so let's now, you've published your videos, okay? And now you want to get the biggest bang for the buck. And that's what we're talking about with repurposing. And this is the key, guys, because if you really wanted to become the thought leader that your industry needs you to become. Right. So I need you to hear that. It's not about being selfish because you want to be a thought leader. It's because it's needed in your industry, because your customers need you to be a thought leader. That's the reason to do it. Okay. In order to do that, it isn't just once you get past, okay, I shot the video and my phone's upside down. Let me do that right. Right. And that happens too. I've shot, listen, I can't tell you how many times I've shot video and there was no sound. Yep. My microphone was off. Listen, you're going to screw up. It's okay. But my point here is you shot the video, you put it up, you're happy, and you move on, and you go do the next one. But putting it up in just one place isn't enough anymore. You have to repurpose that content. Now, I am not putting down any agency out there, so don't hear that in this way. However, if you create content and send it to someone else who does not understand your industry, who does not understand your voice, who does not understand your brand, who does not understand, most importantly, your customer, and ask them to repurpose your content, you're going to get back something that could be good and it could be subpar.
No.
Okay?
Well, I mean, beyond that, it's some of your superpower too, right? Like, thought leadership has to happen slightly differently. You're not just putting out like a ton of videos for the sake of putting out videos. You're doing it to position yourself as an authority. Yes. If you chop out the wrong segment of a video or you put it up on the wrong platform and somebody who's evaluating you for a stage, like a big stage, like a, career-making stage is looking at that and they're going to be like, what the heck? But then you also have a deep background in SEO. Mm-hmm. So you're looking at, okay, how can we look at the video from the angle of getting you in front of the right people, as well as, making you look like the thought leader that you are, as well as getting you ranked well on search and on YouTube and things like that. There's so many different components to each of these videos. Like, look at just this interview and how many questions we've asked, how many topics we've dived off on. And like, if you cut each of those into a standalone piece versus like, hey, listen to Atiba talk video marketing. Listen to Atiba talk about how video marketing makes you more of a thought leader. Listen to how Atiba talks to you about how to do your technology for your video. And those are all standalone pieces.
Yes.
Like, I'm looking at it from like the content perspective and like what all I could do with writing. But like, I know you're sitting over here looking at what all the videos that you can pull it off. And it's like there's so much content in all of that. There's emails, there's social posts, there's blog articles, there's videos on YouTube, there's Instagram reels, there's TikTok videos, there's Facebook, stories, and they call it stories instead of reels, Facebook posts, LinkedIn posts, and technology like Restream, where you can go live without going live. So you can go live, recorded content, put it out. It's crazy when you have a good partner like Atiba that can help you actually work out what's the best strategy for where the video goes. Mm-hmm. Like, I've been watching him for years now, and like that advice is solid. I'm fangirling a bit. I'm sorry. I had to get on my little soapbox and fangirl for a minute.
Thank you. But the key there though, guys, is you got to start. Mm-hmm. You got to start, right? What we do is we help you with strategy, figuring out what you should talk about, when you should talk about it, and then making sure that we take all of that and we repurpose it well to make you look good, to make you the thought leader that your industry needs you to be.
Yeah.
Okay. And we can't do that. We can't help you. No one can help you, whether it's me or anyone else. Because I'm not at all saying I'm the greatest in the world at this. We do a good job. And thank you, Christina, for fangirling. But, hey, we're not the greatest either. But the thing is, no one can help if you don't get started. And that is the absolute key. You have to get started. Pull out the phone and get started. Do your first 10 videos. Let's talk. Do your first 10 videos and let's talk. And the thing that we're going to talk about, and I'm sharing this with you because if you're going to talk to me, this is what we're going to talk about. And I'm sharing this with you because if you decide not to talk to me and you decide to talk to someone else, this is what they should talk to you about as well. Number one, who is your audience? Who's your audience? What are they going through? What are they Where are they? Not what are they? Where are they when you meet them? And what's the transition that happens? What's that after state that they're going for? Why are they looking for you so much? Why is what you do for them so valuable? Okay. So what is the pain, the problem, the issue that they're solving up front? And then what is the joy that they're looking for in the back end? It's super important that they understand that. It's super important that they ask you that. And you can communicate that with them. We help you if you don't even have those answers. We help you figure those things out. Because when we're creating video for you, it's all about a journey that the customer is on. And we're trying to figure out where they are, knowing where we want to get them to, and how we help them get there, how we step them through the process. All while you're showing up and answering their questions, and that's what makes you a real thought leader. It isn't just that you put out great content and you sound really smart. It's that you're willing to answer the questions that, one, everybody else is willing to answer, but then two, that no one else is willing to answer. And you're willing to be honest with it. That's why we talked so long about being transparent and just being your authentic self. Because when you have to deal, as you go through this journey with harder topics, if you aren't your authentic self, your audience will feel that. And that's not where you want to be at all. Okay? So we start off talking about your audience. Once we understand your audience, it informs your content strategy. Now we know the content that you need to cover on video, and we can create strategy around that. And yes, people want to talk about video SEO. It's a big thing. And Christina, thank you for mentioning it even. It's a big thing. SEO is a big thing. Everyone wants to talk about it, but guess what? SEO is crap if you don't do the first two.
Yep.
It's absolute crap. And I'm telling you this, I've been in the SEO industry for 25 years. I know the technical ins and outs and do's and don'ts. But it's crap if you don't do the first two. And that's written or video. And that's one of the reasons why, and Christina and I love each other so much, because we understand that process, that we're going to help you reach your customer, understand their pain points and the transition that they need to take, whether it's written or video. However we're communicating, that's super, super important. Super important before we get into talking about, hey, how can we get this video to rank? Or to go back to what we talked about earlier, how can we get more views on this video? Hey, we don't care about more views. We care about the right views.
Yep.
We care about proving that the people who are viewing it actually have the pain point and the problem that we said and want the solution that you offer.
Yep. Well, I think that's a great segue to wrap up the episode. If somebody's trying to get their first 10 videos, or they're trying to, like, they've been doing video, but they know they're not doing it right or consistently, or whatever the I'm not doing what I should be doing with video excuse is, and they want to get some help, where do they go?
Okay. So you have two options. The first one is reach out to me directly. Listen, I want to talk to you. Let me just be straight up. Let's have a conversation. Let's talk. Okay. And you can reach me on LinkedIn. I'm Atibe de Souza on LinkedIn. I think there's only one other, and that's my son. So, okay. If you see a much younger, better looking version of this without a Superman hat, that's my son. The one with the Superman hat, that's me. Right. But yeah, no, send me a DM on LinkedIn. Let's chat. Like, if you're facing some of those fears that we talked about up front, let's talk about that, because I know it's real and I know what you're facing, and what you need more than anything else, in my humble opinion, is a handout that you can take to say, hey, let me show you the way. Let me guide you through this to get you going. Okay. So reach out to me directly. Let's talk. Now, If that's a little too intimidating, and I understand that it can be, it can. You're sending a direct message to a stranger on a platform and you don't know what's going to happen. I get it. If that's too intimidating, go to my website, clientattractionpros.com. Okay? Go to my website, clientattractionpros.com. Check us out. Check out my YouTube channels. But most importantly, I've got a free gift on there. When you get there, scroll to the bottom of the page. I got a free gift on there just for you. Go ahead and get that. That will help you get started. Yep. And then after you get started a little bit, reach out to me. And oh, by the way, if you like my website, Christina did it.
Shameless plug. Nah, that was awesome. Yeah, guys, I highly encourage you to reach out. I mean, Atiba can help you break down where to get started. He helped me get started. So I think it's, you never know what you're going to get when you reach out to somebody and you ask for advice, but it's always helpful. Whatever advice you get is always going to move you forward further than if you didn't have that conversation. So I highly recommend reaching out. And thank you so much for coming on today. There's been so much good information here, and I hope people are doing their videos when you get done with this or reaching out to you because it is so important.
You're welcome. And y'all, make sure to hit Christina up because, you've heard her say how long we've known each other. This is the first time she's had me on her show.
Oh, I was trying to get my show good enough for you. That's why I waited so long. I wasn't going to make you be one of my first people because that'd be sad.
If this was good, let her know that you want me back. I want to come back.
Well, we have to get you back after you get off that stage at TNC so you can share with my audience that experience. So. Oh,
absolutely. Absolutely. No, seriously, it was a pleasure. All jokes aside, all crying aside, I was telling Christina before we started taping that, I used to be a thespian. So that's where the crying came from. If it didn't look believable, then you know why I'm no longer a thespian. No, but thank you, Christina.
Thank you for coming on. And entrepreneurs, this is your call to take action. Head over to etatoday.zone to learn from other amazing experts like Atiba, steal their nuggets of wisdom, and build a business that enables your lifestyle instead of taking over your life. Until next time, guys. Bye.
Bye.